Wings to Fly is a children's book about gaining confidence and working to succeed, told from the perspective of a young girl who loves to play basketball. She is often left out by her teammates until she meets her guardian angel who teaches her that success takes perseverance. Wings to Fly is a great read for all children. I would highly recommend this book. If you would like to make a purchase, please click on the link in my description box below.
So this has been a long journey to justice for all of the accusers, particularly for Andrea Constant and for her family. And we respect the fact that they have undergone and endured this journey to justice. The court has imposed a 3 to 5 year term, 3 years after which he can seek parole. This is a very important day. Judgment Day has come. The court has said that its efforts and its decision were based on the guidelines and the law of Pennsylvania and the protection of the public. That there's an undue risk to the public if he was given probation. And given the gravity of the offense and other factors, this was his sentence.
60 women accused Bill Cosby of rape, sexual misconduct, and all types of stuff, right? See, people see a large number like that, and they think, oh my God, 60 women? So it must be true. How would all of these women accuse Bill Cosby of the same thing? It's gotta be true, right? So these weren't 60 random women from all over the country. These were 60 women who were all connected. And most of these women had stories that were proven to be lies. Most were unfound, and most of these dates didn't even match. Most of these women couldn't even remember the dates that they accused them of. So what they started telling these women to just say that you don't remember the date, just come up with something, which was comical. One woman had a very detailed story about a time when they were in the Playboy Mansion, but Bill wasn't even in the country on that date. Celebrity and former supermodel Janice Dickinson admitted that she lied. Called by the prosecution, the 63-year-old Dickinson recounted a 1982 incident in a Lake Tahoe, California hotel room in which she said she was drugged and raped by Cosby.
What has held you back all these years from telling this story in detail until now?
I remember being humiliated, disgusted. I had revulsion towards Cosby, and Cosby was a very powerful man, and probably still is. You know, I trusted this man, and I stuffed it. I compartmentalized it because I was embarrassed.
And at what point did you find yourself alone with Mr. Cosby? You trusted him, but then things went in a different direction, in your view.
Mr. Gardner, Stu Gardner, left the dinner table. I was alone with him, and I had menstrual cramps. I had stomach cramps. He said, oh, I've got something for that, and he gave me a pill. And
did you ask what it was?
I don't remember that. I don't remember, but if he's giving me a pill, I trust the guy. I trusted Bill Cosby, so he gave me...
Why did you feel like you trusted him?
Because of his demeanor and the promise of a career. And, you know, I trusted him, and I wanted a television career. I always had I had a successful career. For commercials, I wanted to take it to the next level.
Quote, "Here was America's dad on top of me, a happily married man with 5 children. Dickinson testified in Montgomery County Court in Norristown. And I remember thinking how wrong it was. How very, very wrong it was. She told the jury that she passed out during the assault and saying that it was gross. Under cross-examination, Dickinson was confronted. She was confronted about her 2002 memoir, No Lifeguard on Duty, The Accidental Life of the World's First Supermodel. And Dickinson acknowledged and admitted that she concocted stories in her book in order to get a much-needed paycheck. Quote from Dickinson, "It's all fabrication because I wanted a paycheck for my kids." Facts. That's a fact. See, what I hate about these types of allegations, these types of women take away from the real victims, the real women who are going through real life trauma, the real women who actually experience this type of stuff. And these women go out and they accuse of these men and they get no consequence.
I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do, and it happened to me, and this is the true story.
Most of these women spoke about how it was consensual at first, and then it turned into rape. Now, let me be clear when I say this. If you choose to have sex with a man and you want to decline, you have that right, of course. You can change your mind at any time. No does mean no. You can have it all set up, be ready to get undressed, everything. And yes, you have that right to change your mind. But this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about these women who partied with Bill. They say it was consensual, and then it turned into rape. These same women kept coming back repeatedly, over and over and over again. If this man is committing all these heinous acts, why are you constantly coming back? So he raped you on Monday and Tuesday. You left on Wednesday, and you came back to party with him on Friday and Saturday? That makes no sense. Most of these women admitted how they continued to party with Bill night after night, week after week, month after month. If this man is abusing you, why would you keep coming back? Why would you keep returning? One of Bill's top accusers, a woman by the name of Shawn Upshaw Brown, her daughter was found guilty of extortion. Back in the 90s, she was found guilty of extortion of Bill Cosby. See, these women were looking for a payday. So many of these claims were unfound. And so many of these claims were proven to be bold-faced lies. These women were connected, and these women were trying to get paid. Now let's talk about the so-called admission during the deposition.
And it was designed to make everyone believe he is guilty. In the deposition, Cosby was asked about having prescriptions for Quaaludes in the 1970s. He admitted to that. Then he was asked a loaded question, a drug that was routinely used for heightened sex. She asked him, was it ever in your mind to use them for women? He answered, yes. He did not verb tense drug women or admit to drugging women. He answered honestly and agreed. He also gave them to women he intended to sleep with. An honest statement that has no crime attached to it. Women who knew what they were doing. Again, Cosby did not say once or at all that he drugs women. The end. Then that deposition was sealed, not to hide crime, but because at the time, Cosby was still protecting his very valuable clean image and did not want drugs or past sexual affairs leaked out to the public. And that is the truth of the famous Cosby confession. No confession at all.
He never admitted to drugging these women and taking advantage of them. He admitted that they all took Quaaludes. Do you know what a Quaalude is? A Quaalude is a central nervous system depressant that acts as a sedative and hypnotic. Hypnotics are drugs that include sleep. Quaaludes became a popular recreational drug in the 60s. They were known as disco biscuits.
Methaqualone by itself was approved in 1965 by the FDA under the name Quaalude from William H. Rohr. It was followed by Soper from Arner Stone and Perest from Park Davis. When it entered the market, doctors only had to prescribe it in an ethical way. Other restrictions were basically absent, unlike with barbiturates. Since it also had a better reputation, widespread use was bound to occur. Methaqualone is a sedative that falls outside the benzodiazepine and barbiturate classes. It was once a popular pharmaceutical and a widely used recreational drug. Due to a crackdown in the 1970s and 80s, it largely disappeared from the market. Core effects involve a mixture of sedation and euphoria. You can achieve notable levels of euphoria with a lower level of sedation than would typically exist with barbiturates. Some people need to fight off an urge to sleep, but others easily remain awake at common doses. The strong sedation it provides also doesn't last especially long, so it's easier to integrate into someone's day without falling asleep. It's fairly common to report a form of mental energy or stimulation at common doses, while the body remains relaxed and sedated. Methaqualone can reduce your inhibitions, raising the likelihood of inappropriate and unsafe behavior. The drug launched as Revenol in West Germany in 1960 and as Dormitil in East Germany 2 years later. In both cases, it was available over the counter, unlike barbiturates. Extensive advertising and the perceived safety of the drug led to widespread use. In 1966, it chastised a paper that had indicted without justification a relatively safe and effective sedative hypnotic. By 1970, sales were reportedly 3.4 million per year in the US, and 91 million units were prescribed in 1971, rising to 116 million in 1972. Several large thefts were reported around this time. One manufacturer reported the theft of 600,000 capsules. Authorities started to recognize the potential for issues with methaqualone. 1972. Many articles discussed how popular the drug had become. A doctor from the National Institute of Health was quoted in the Washington Post as saying, "There's no doubt that methaqualone has suddenly become a rage." The Washington Post argued it became popular because federal agencies endorsed its image as a good drug. Time said methaqualone was so fashionable among some drug cultures that bowls of it have replaced peanuts as a cocktail-style staple. It was labeled the hottest drug on the streets by the San Francisco Chronicle. Similar reports appeared in the medical literature. An editorial in Clinical Toxicology, for example, said it had become the most desired drug for non-medical use on the street and college markets.
It's the equivalent of modern day popping a Molly. It's the same thing. Now, most of these women admitted that they were taking Quaaludes. They admitted that Bill gave them Quaaludes and they accepted them. So they were all partying together. They were all getting high together. He never forced any Quaaludes on anybody. They were taking them together. So they were willingly taking these Quaaludes. You had women bringing him Quaaludes. They took them. We're out partying. I pop one, you pop one. That's what they did. Please follow the History with No Chaser Instagram and Facebook page. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comment section.